Hi again. We are now on video 3 for Pinup Bootcamp Week 2, The Power of Words. I prefer to think of it as the power of positivity. This challenge was a daily affirmation, and I will admit, I'll be the first to admit, I'm not very good at daily affirmations. I sometimes put myself into situations where it's hard for me to take a breath and remember an entire phrase. So this one was kind of a challenge for me. I'm better at remembering words and concepts than entire phrases. So, having been into tarot cards and runes for a very, very long time, and I know that sounds silly, but don't knock it, because what I did was actually kind of interesting. I took my handy-dandy bag of runes, which everybody laughs about, and one of the things that I want to say is runes and tarot cards and the I Ching and things like that don't foretell your future. As far as I'm concerned, the cards or the runes or whatever that comes up, it's normally something that you kind of need to pay a little more attention to, that you need to focus on. One of the things that I did was every morning when I got up and I was having my coffee, which is my ritual, we all have them. My ritual every morning is to have 2 cups of coffee and read my news and find something funny. And that kind of helps me relax and ease into my day, and then I do my yoga and all that fun stuff. But while I was having my coffee, I would take my little bag and stick my hot little hand into it, and I would pull out a rune. And then what I would do is I would take the handy-dandy little book that comes with it, and I would look that rune up. This one, let me take a look, is all about fertility. It's not necessarily about getting pregnant, because God knows if I got pregnant, I would have to name it Jesus Houdini, because it was either a miracle or a magic trick. But part of fertility is also new beginnings. I can't even see it. There we go. New beginnings. And so for today, what I would concentrate on is all the new things that are coming into my life. Ending the negativity and kind of walking away from it and calling it good, calling it a day, whatever. And concentrate on the things that I have coming up. So when I would get into a situation, or I would put myself into a situation where I was feeling a little stressed out today, luckily it's Sunday, so I'm really not feeling that, take a deep breath and just remind myself that I've got some new beginnings coming up. And so I did that, and I would write about them. And I would do like a word association game. And so I would write all those out, and then that would kind of become my focus for the day. So it's not really an affirmation about I am the good that I see in the world, I am the beauty that I see in the world. It was more personal. And so today, new beginnings, obviously I'm getting back on track with my Pinup Bootcamp videos. Trying a new hairstyle. I'm not sure if I'm going to work with it or not. It might take a little bit more work on my part. I'm not really like a hairstyle girly girl. I'm surprised I can even put on makeup some mornings. But I'm not going to let that worry me. And it goes back to my mantra of don't sweat small stuff. I have new things coming up in my life, and they're going to be wonderful. I'm not going to allow myself to view them negatively or to be scared by them. The unknown is always a scary thing. It's kind of like when you were little and it was dark in the house and the wind was blowing and there was that one tree that was against the side of the house, and the branches would start to rub on the house, and you just knew somebody was breaking in. And when you woke up in the morning, it was just the tree was blowing in the wind. So you can't really be afraid of the future. You can't foretell the future, but you can make decisions and choices that help you have a better future. And by taking it one day at a time and doing whatever it is that you need to do, whether it's, getting up in the morning and pulling a rune and doing word association with all the wonderful things, then do it. One of the ladies that I'm working with in the Pinup Bootcamp had an amazing idea where she took a little box, she took a series of boxes, and she would write adjectives, and then she would write something else, and then in the mornings what she would do is she would get up and she would pull one out of the box, and then she'd pull another one out of the box, and that would be her affirmation for the day. And I thought that was wonderful. Um, I know myself well enough to know that I couldn't have sat down and done all that. So I'm amazed that she came up with that idea, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And it worked really well for her. And it's been amazing watching these videos and seeing everybody coming out of their shells and seeing that light come on. That's always a wonderful thing. And they may laugh at me pulling a rune out, or they may go, well, that's brilliant. It worked for her. So it comes down to just being positive. Don't hate yourself, because if you hate yourself, then everybody else is going to pick up on that, and it becomes like a pack of dogs. I don't know how many of you have dogs. I have 2, and I am the pack leader. If I'm having a bad day, they have a bad day. If I'm having a great day, they're having a great day. It just is that simple. You have to pick and choose who you surround yourself by. Just because people are in a cool group doesn't necessarily mean that they should be your friends. They can be cool to hang out with, they can be cool to associate with, but they shouldn't be the ones that you run and tell. You know, I was a goth kid theater geek in high school, so I was not the most popular child in the place. And it really didn't bother me. I'm sort of different that way. I never really craved popularity. I was never the cheerleader. I knew the cheerleaders, and I hung out with the cheerleaders, but I really didn't count them as friends. So when I say you have to be careful about who you surround yourself by, you do. If you talk negative about yourself, you need to have at least 1 or 2 people in your life who go, no, I don't see it, and tell you something positive. And once you start focusing in on the positivity, then it becomes easier for you to be positive about yourself. And I think that's pretty important. Negative self-talk is a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's very important that we don't do that. Going through this course, learning how to live life on the shiny side, it's pretty important that you don't let that negativity in. If any of this makes any sense, I hope it makes some sense. I feel like I'm rambling. But it's pretty important. And so I would say if you get to the point in your day where you're feeling negative about yourself, you kind of need to take a step back, put on some lipstick, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm gorgeous. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm confident. And just get on with it. You know what I mean? Don't get mired down in it. And you'll find that some really wonderful things happen when you project that positivity. And that's all I have to say. I'm looking forward to next week. I promise I'll be on time. And it'll be interesting. So I will see you next week. And in the meantime, think positive, be positive, have a cocktail, put on some lipstick, try a new hairdo, and everything will work out. I promise.